Yes. Give me dinner.
And then I fed him.
And it was good.
Better be. Or
Work this out here. Yeah, one thing I had read, like, originally when you sold the show, it was you did it for $100, or maybe it was $85, or you did it on a camcorder. I want to get the story about the original.
Yeah, well, we shot the original pilot on just a couple of camcorders in our houses, and it was just the three of us as actors, and it didn't cost very much. Technology being what it is, you can buy those cameras pretty cheap and just upload it onto your computer and cut it, and that's what we did.
Now, what was it? What was it? Just short scene?
Well, it started off as, which is the reason that I'm credited as creator on the show, but really the whole show is the brainchild of all three of us, and we work very closely together and have from the very beginning to make the show is what it is today. But
if you weren't motivated, Glenn and I would have never got off our legs to make a show. So
yeah, I had this idea for a short film in which a friend went over to another friend's house to get some sugar, and when he got there, the friend told him that he had cancer. And I thought, man, that's such a dramatic scene. Like, how would you go through that? And then I thought, well, what if the guy just wanted to get the fucking sugar and get out? and so I wrote this scene, and it was really dark, but I also thought it was kind of funny, and I'd never seen anything like that on TV. And I brought it to, or as a short film, and I brought it to Glenn and Charlie. They both thought it was pretty funny, so we just decided to shoot. I filled it out a little bit with a couple of other characters. I introduced this other character who was the other guy's roommate, who came when the guy came home and said, hey, Charlie has cancer. The other character got upset that why wouldn't Charlie tell me first? I feel like I'm a better friend to him. And then that sort of filled out the world, and I realized, okay, this could be like a really cool short film, and that's what we shot. And then once we did it, we realized, wow, it came out to be about half an hour long, and we realized this could be a TV show.
How did you go about selling it? What was the reaction when you tried to do it?
At the time, we had, and still do, the same manager, Nick Frankel, executive producer, who's also sitting over here somewhere. He won't take any credit, but there he is over there. He thought it was really funny. He brought it to an agent over at Endeavor, Ari Greenberg, who also thought it was funny. And we set up a couple of meetings over at some networks, and FX was one of them. And we had a few offers based on those meetings. And there was no pitch. We just literally sat down, put the DVD in, and watched it. And some of those executives are also here. Nick Grad and Eric Schreier are here, and those guys were in the room, and they bought it a few hours later. And there was no question to us where we were going to go.
Is it any different now? Like looking at it, season 4, you're doing season 5. Is it still kind of exactly what you pictured way back then, or whatever kind of idea?
You mean the show itself?
Well, just the basic idea of where you figured everybody would be going character-wise.
Well, it's funny, it's such an ever-changing thing. I mean, every episode seems completely different to us, but it's weird hearing you describe, your first idea for it about, your character being upset that I didn't tell you that I had cancer. And sort of that mentality has stayed the heart of the show, which is people thinking about themselves first. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much
that's cool. That's steady.
The tone has remained pretty much the same.
We've experimented with going.
To 1776.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't want to say broader because it's not the right term, but we just push the boundaries in terms of the style of an episode or what we can get away with, and we wouldn't have done that in season 1, but I don't think you earn that in the first season of a television show.
I think you're right, though, Charlie. I mean, it's the same. It is the exact same. The characters have the same mentality. It's just how far can you push that sort of, psychosis? How far can you really push that? I mean, you have an episode like that, which is pretty grand in scale in a lot of ways compared to, the original thing, which was literally just an episode about a guy going over to say, hey, can I borrow some sugar? Oh, I have cancer. Oh, shit. I gotta get out of here, and then literally this whole small thing about we gotta do something nice for him, he's dying of cancer, we just try and get him with the girl that he's in love with. A very simple story in a lot of ways. And then you got that, but it's the same mentality.
Same tone. Almost.
Same tone in some ways.
Yeah. I mean, one thing, actually, with the characters, I've always been curious because maybe they're a little irredeemable. I don't know how you look at them, but I would be curious to hear you guys each describe your character in the most positive way, how they would describe themselves, because I'm sure they don't see themselves the way that we see them when we're watching them.
Well, I mean, I think
that's why we get away with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's why, if it was a show where the characters seemed irredeemable and they were unlikable, I mean, you wouldn't, that's Entourage.